inside the try line. I think Salford and Ian Watson will be pretty pleased with that start.
Conservative start from Salford, but it's one of the real assets and strengths of Hull FC is Shaw, Nalango, Mahe, Fanua. They're strong out of the backfield, and then you'll see that they make players account for them, and if they can get a defensive win, make players miss tackles, readjust defensively, then they've done the job.
Well, we have the worst attack in Super League this year in Salford against the worst defence in Hull FC, so go figure. We'll see what's going to happen over the next 80 minutes or so. On the last, just inside their own half, and Sneed with the kick downfield. Picked up well by Evans. Here is Williams now.
They covered the field well, Salford, in that back line then. That's partly the reason why Mark Sneed's kick was so scruffy along the floor. They won't mind Hull FC and Salford, just eager to get into the grind of the match, complete some sets. What we've learned over the matches that we've watched so far is possession is really key, especially in these early stages.
Yeah, noticeably Salford trying to play the ball quickly. Here is Mossop and Lollahir. You just get the feeling that, talking to Ian Watson in the week, certainly that was the key, going to be the key to the way they take on. We've all talked about the strike power that Hull FC have, but Salford have to play the game at pace.
Well, they started particularly well, although that kick's gone just a fraction too far. By having his foot over the try line, it means they bring the ball back to the 20-metre line, and they're again off on the attack. If you cast your mind back to the start of this season, Hull came to this ground and absolutely destroyed it. In fact, they embarrassed the Leeds Rhinos on it. They did look like the team to beat at the beginning of the year, and they'll hope to restart their competition here again now in the similar fashion, although, as you say, for the first couple of minutes, Salford have looked very quick.
Yeah, spot on. Who'd have thought? One of those oddities, I guess, of sport. 30 points to 4, thrashing of Leeds on the opening weekend here, and you know, we were all saying, is this the year? Is this the year for the black and whites? But it's gone from bad to worse for them. But here they are, first time really with ball in hand. Josh Jones, who settled his differences with the club. And I know Andy Latt's particularly pleased about that. Houghton, busy as always, and Cervello looking for a way through. Look at the stiffness from Hull FC. First time in the Salford 20 with ball in hand. Houghton directing things, and they come the short side. Little kick through from Kelly, but the bounce goes the way of Dan Sargentson. Now, did he lose the ball? And has Kelly got the ball down for a try? Well, that would be an astonishing start. Is it a mistake from Dan Sargentson? And a try for Albert Kelly. The referee thinks it is. Robert Hicks.
Now then, he chases really hard, doesn't it? Albert Kelly come back from lockdown a lot lighter, highly motivated. Andy Last saying he's excited to see what he's going to turn up. But he dribbles the ball through, stays in motion, and it's a difficult ball to deal with. Ricocheting all over the place. Sargentson gets to it first. His first focus is to try and stay in the field of play, and then somewhere along that he's almost
at that
lost
point,
possession of the ball.
At the point while he's still in contact with the ball and Kelly tackles him, I know that maybe they're still moving at that point, you could, as the referee, going to deem that the tackle was completed at that point.
Well, Robert Hicks is the video referee. Clearly gets the ball and then loses the ball. But is the tackle completed? That is the question.
For me, no, I think this is a try. I think it's a reward for good effort from Albert Kelly. Yeah, the ball's in play there for me, Phil. I think he gets enough downward momentum.
Yeah, I think all we're doing here now is confirming what the referee said with his initial reaction.
Well, there it is. The first real attack for Hull FC. Points on the board, courtesy of Albert Kelly. A nightmare for Dan Sargentson, as you say. Kelly looking lean and hungry and healthy and motivated, and he gets the try.
When you get the best Albert Kelly, he can come up with plays like that. They've also got the point of difference on the bench with Jake Connor, so a number of options available to Andy Last, and it will just keep Salford guessing throughout this match. But he chases hard, And he makes his own look, Albert Kelly there. First try for Hull FC.
So Sneed to turn 4 into 6, and Hull FC do now lead by 6 points to 0. And I think it's a very good point that you made. I think Dan Sargentson was actually concentrating to try and stay in the field of play rather than just make sure he had the ball.
If you go back to what Albert Kelly does, though, I suppose most coaches, and Andy Lassman was one of them, wants his half-backs to scrum half in the standoff, to run at the opposition, probably 5 or 6 times in each half. Not only does he run at them, he puts a dangerous kick in, and his desire to get the ball back has given them the first 6 points.
That's a great kick-off, isn't it?
Well taken, though, by Sneed behind the post. But yeah, strange to think, isn't it, that all the way back on March the 12th, when Hull suffered that embarrassment, and it was an embarrassment when they were walloped by Warrington, and then, of course, the shock when Adam Pearson came to do his interview and basically sacked Lee Radford on air, and then Andy Latch the next day taking over, and he's had to wait all this time to lead Hull FC for the very first time. But I tell you what, I spoke to Andy Latch in the week for a good hour, and to use the old adage, the old cliche, he was like a little kid at Christmas, could not wait for this.
He knows rugby league, Andy Lass. He's been involved in rugby league all his adult life. He's had to take an unusual route. He ultimately didn't achieve his goal as a player, didn't get as high as he wanted to as a player, was given the chance to be a player coach in the reserves, took that opportunity, spent some time being head of youth development at Hull FC, but he's got his opportunity now, and I expect to see a different style for Hull FC. I think they'll play, I think they'll promote the ball, and I think it'll be a more attractive game that Andy Lass will demand.
Yeah, spot on, that is the plan, without a shadow of a doubt. That is the plan. Ike Hehifo on his first start after signing from Huddersfield, 5 on the bench, but that had to be a good tackle there on McCarthy, and it was a good tackle, had to be. Kelly with the tackle. He's all over the place at the minute, isn't he? Oh, that was the mistake by Jamie Shaw. It did well in the end just to get out of play and back into play. Here is Mahe Fanua. I think it's fair to say that when he went back to Australia to play for West Tigers, they didn't half miss him.
Yeah, and he's a sensational player. I mean, if you had to guess before a game who would win the man of the match in most matches Hull play, I think Mahe Fanua will be the top of most people's list. He's not just a great finisher, but a very exciting player to watch.
I think he's got that X factor. There's a number of players within this team and within this 17 that Hull have got, but a fit, again, another player that's lost about 4 or 5 kgs, although his left to right passing could do with a bit of work, but a player that looks fit and healthy. And to be fair, all the players have come back fit. They've used lockdown really wisely.
Sneed with another high hanging kick, and well taken again by Niall Eccles. What an outstanding player he has been over the years for Salford. They will be very sorry to see him go, joining the Castleford Tigers, of course, in 2021. Here is Dan Sargentson. He'll try and make up for the error that led to the try for Albert Kelly.
That is for sure. Dan Sargentson, very committed player. He's made a mistake, and he'll spend the remainder of this game trying to make up and give his side something.
Pretty simple strategy from Salford, isn't it? One pass, make ground, and then let's look to try and tire our opponents area territorially. Another high kick, making Shaw move back towards the centre of the field.
Yeah, they're certainly giving it to Jamie Shaw, aren't they, in the early stages, testing the Hull FC fullback.
That's one of his strengths, Jamie Shaw. His positioning is top class. He's always around about that vicinity. Very often he catches the ball on the full. New haircut, new style.
I'm not sure that would suit you, Barry.
No, just the salt and pepper for me, Stu.
Faber Barley up to halfway. Was looking there with the tackle along with Ike Hehifo, and well, was that a mistake by Ellis? The referee says it was, and an apologetic Gareth Ellis.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think he was fully committed to that, Gareth Ellis. Getting the start in the front row and makes such a difference to the team when he plays. I feel like the players around him lift, They want an extra 5 or 10% because they don't want to let him down.
Boys, use your time, but get your markers in square. Okay, get your markers in square, 10 seconds. Get it, get it marker. Okay.
Very good use of numbers from Brian Carney in the build-up to this, and I suppose it says it all. Made his debut in '99, wearing 29 in age 39, but he's still a big, important part of everything that Hull FC do, Gareth Ellis. 6 again. First one of the game. Andre Sabelio penalised there for a hand-on in the tackle. Here is Lussick, and now, first time that Hull had the ball in the Salford 20, they scored. What can Salford do here? First real opportunity to threaten that line. Mossop with the drive, and so important in Salford's run to the grand final last year, Lee Mossop. Lussick goes on the short side.
Niall Evans is screaming for the ball over on Salford's right.
That's where they're going. Lower here, that's a long pass out. Theo will go in for the try. Well, that was absolutely brilliant there from Tui. Lower here. What a pass. The whole defence just stood still. They could do nothing. And the try scored by Kencio, and Salford are back in this. What a pass from Lower here.
This is unbelievable. Every player at one point in his career has a magic moment, and that's it for here. From Tui Lolahire's vision, he recognises that the whole players have moved up quickly. They're outnumbered, so they try and come in quickly to close down the threat. But his brains and the brilliance of that pass sets up what could be the try of the weekend. That is absolutely top-class rugby. The long pass from Lussick, then an even better one from the standoff half, gives the winger the stroll into the corner. And Salford, they may still be behind here 6-4 that try, but have looked the better team in the opening 10 minutes. They look up for it.
The Sky Sports fan zone, and plenty to celebrate for the Salford Red Devil fans. Kencio, 7 tries in 8 games now this season for Salford. And here is Lolohea, who had such a nightmare on this ground. Played just 17 games before he was offloaded by Leeds in a swap deal that brought Robert Louis to Headingley. But rejuvenated. Played in a grand final, and useful with the boot as well. It's 6 apiece for Tui Lolohea. I think you'd probably enjoy that a little more than most.
Well, the left edge for FC, they were distracted in the same way that I was. The fullback from Salford, Niall Evans, was screaming for the ball, and Mahe Fanua, the last man in defence, or the last man on that edge, only had eyes for the fullback, which meant that there was a space, there was an opportunity, and execution was top class.
Oh, Sargentson had to hurry there. Did well. Crunching tackle coming in from Albert Kelly, but just couldn't connect properly.
We're seeing a good variety, aren't we, from kickoffs? It's no longer just pin it back and make the big men run from the back of the stand.
Lussick. That's a good kick. It's a really good kick, that by Joey Lussick. Didn't find the 40-20, but saw the gap, saw the chance.
Well, it's the second time we did that. Salford kicked early, the kick towards the right wing. Once before, it was on play 4. This was play 3, really tackle 3 there. They've actually kicked the ball there on. They're prepared here to do the hard work and try and territorially turn the tables.
Mahe Fanua was desperate to find one of his teammates. Right-handed offload available, but nobody there.
Here is Houghton. Griffin coming into the line for Hull FC. 6 apiece and a really entertaining start. Both coaches in the week, when I spoke to them, said that they were going to come to play. They were going to have a real go and get the ball out, and true to their word. 6 apiece on the last. Kelly again. This time puts up a high hanger towards Eddles, but he normally is very, very good under the high ball and doesn't often let you down, Niall Eddles.
No, 2 cracking fullbacks. I think we're in for a real scrap. You can see scoreline tied up. You talk to most people before the game. We're all guessing, of course. We've not much to go on. The last action for both seems months and months away. But it's even Stevens as far as predictions before the match, and we've got 13 minutes on the clock, and as I say, a real scrap.
always a sign of how enjoyable the game is, that time flies. And you say, coming up for 14, 15 minutes gone. On the last, 6 apiece, the influential Lussick at dummy half, and Lower here this time with the error. Yeah, just sliced it off the boot.
It was always a strange position from which to kick the ball, Barry, wasn't it? He was not giving himself much margin of error, really. Stood relatively close to the touchline. Is he 10 metres in from it? If he gets that wrong on the outside of his right boot, it's only going one direction, and it did do.
And Jamie Shaw was more or less hooking the touchline. There was acres of space to Lower here's left.
Here is Gareth Ellis. I wonder if he will carry on to 2021 and 40 years of age. If he does, you know, it'll be 500 career games.
He might not carry on in a playing capacity, but they'll definitely keep him around. Yeah, his influence is huge. Great carry again.
Kelly has been terrific so far. Well, that was Dan Sargentson lying on in the tackle, and here is Savelio for Hull.
6 again.
Yep. Kelly, and he's Mo. Oh, he scrambles and scrapes his way towards the line, and he was nearly there as well. Tuimavave trying to play the ball quickly. Lingy Sow for the black and whites. Great opportunity to hit the fronts again. Houghton, now they do go wide. Sneed, and coming into the line, Josh Jones. Good defence from Chris Wellham for Salford. Sneed, oh, that was clever by Sneed, but really, really good defending as well by Tyrone McCarthy. He may well have got pinned back behind his own line. It is going to be a goal line dropout, but McCarthy read that superbly.
A player that will sweep up around the back and do all that untidy work, but good recognition from Hull FC and a good run from Danny Houghton. He pointed where he wanted that ball kicked, and the loose forward, as he does week in, week out, every moment that he's on the field, will do the hard work, and Hull FC will grasp this opportunity to apply more pressure.
Well, Salford got to last year's grand final, not just because they could score tries, but they could stop their opponents from scoring when they had to do. That was a brilliant set of defence on their own line. They're going to have to back it up, though.
Yeah, that was a good offload from Lingy Sow, and here is Josh Griffin.
A lot of defence here from Salford. We've had a set restart. A dropout, of course.
Ellis still doing the hard yards. Houghton will come to the right. Good run from Lingy Sow again, but the offload, was it one offload too many? What's the referee going to say here? It was a knock-on. Now, was it a knock-on first of all from Hull FC? It was, and it was one offload too many from Lingy Sow. Danny Houghton having a word. He disagrees. Let's have a look.
Got his arm free, didn't he? The front rower tried to find the support, and it's Luke Yates. It's a really workmanlike.
I couldn't see the knock-on, could you, Barry?
No, I couldn't see
the
that.
referee was in the best position, though, and he gave it. We'll go live.
I couldn't see the knock-on, but the point I was going to make was about the Lannan-McCarthy-Yates trio at the back of the scrum for Salford. He certainly likes that type of player, fit, in the vicinity. I don't know whether Danny Houghton maybe touches it there.
It's what the referee ruled, isn't it, that Houghton got a fingertip to it. But yeah, you're right. Lannan, Yates, McCarthy, unsung heroes, not big names, but so important to everything that that Salford do. Here is Mossop looking for a way through. The tackle from Kelly. Last play now for Salford. Lussick it is with a little chip over the top, and it chased back by Shaw, but that was a good set out of defence there from Salford.
What was really clever about Salford, I think Ian Watson used to do it in his playing days. He's brought it down to his team, a switch of play from one side of the field to the other. The defenders are moving in one direction. It's hard, and not every one of them will change direction as the ball does. Almost caught the whole side out.
Another 6 again for Hull FC. When they're getting out and they're testing and seeing that retreating line of Salford, they're smart enough to run where the potential penalty is.
Powerful run again from Manu Maru, the Tongan. Such a big player for the Parramatta Eels, and Hull, one of their key signings in the close season, without a shadow of a doubt.
That's important for Hull FC. Danny Houghton, number 9 for Hull FC. He needs to get out and run more. Andy Last, an ex-hooker, he'll be encouraging his captain and talisman to do more of that.
Release. Goal 5.
Well, Sneed it is. Evel's coming across, Williams looking for it, and fair play to the winger there. Williams, he called it my ball straight away and took it confidently.
You're right, a nice clear call, and that's what you want from your back three. It looked like Niall Evells was getting towards where he thought he was going to catch it, but a clear call from the winger meant they started the set on the front foot. They're on tackle 3, 31 metres made, and another early kick.
That could be a really good early kick. Unlucky, just holding up, but the chase is terrific. But well played, Jamie Shaw. That was a really brilliant bit of fullback play, and I have to say that the two fullbacks have been two of the outstanding players in the first quarter. 6 apiece.
Oh,
and a mistake.
Bad mistake from Mark Sneed there. An offload, second phase created, and Mark Sneed, much like Danny Houghton, to add an extra element to his game, more running, take defences on. Mai Fanua, nothing wrong with the offload, and perhaps Sneed thinking about what he was going to do before he did it.
He was actually already looking at who he was going to pass to.
10 seconds. Okay, mate. Yeah.
So 6 apiece. Do you know what? Just thinking, doing all the prep for this game in the week. Salford reaching the Super League Grand Final. I mean, we've had nearly 25 years of the Super League era. For me, it's one of the greatest achievements and greatest stories of the Super League era.
And they look like they might back it up again here with this strong performance. Last year might not have been a one-off here. Started this game, great movement to the ball, players and angles of running and timing. They look sharp.
Yeah, Mark Flanagan is on. A grand final winner with St Helens, a grand final loser with Salford, and Lola here with a little sidestep and straightens off, and Tui Lola here, who had an absolute nightmare here at Headingley playing for the Leeds Rhinos, has made a try, has scored a try, he's kicked a goal, he's all influential, he's proving a point as Salford hit the front.
A direct carry, looking at tired players around about that middle section here. Here's the offload and knock-on from Mark Sneed. Handed possession over to Salford. And you feel as they have gone into the second quarter, they've opened up a little bit more. When you watched Hull KR, they began the game and they stuck with that tactic of offloading, high-risk plays. They didn't really have much after that, but Salford have started the first quarter in a certain manner. They've then changed that, and the game's opened up. And those fans at home, well, they look delighted there to see their side score the second try of the match.
Well, Tui Lola here, welcome to the party. They were 6-0 down, they've defended brilliantly since, and now they're ahead. Lola here to give Salford a 6-point lead. And there it is, and how good has Tui Lola here been back at Headingley. As I say, he only played 17 games before Leeds decided that he wasn't for them. They had that controversial and explosive swap deal with Robert Louis, but look at this.
Well, there aren't many standoffs. In fact, he is the only one who can do that with 2 defenders in front of him. Some standoffs can see space and exploit it. He's just gone between the smallest of gaps, and Salford's plan of kicking early towards their right wing, early in the tackle count, unlike most other sides really, has actually paid off. They got possession in that half and they converted it into points.
So Salford in front, and you have to say, deservedly so. Yeah, just going back to the grand final, it's like 25 years nearly of Super League. It's an astonishing achievement, wasn't it?
I think Ian Watson's done a remarkable job, and this is not meant to be a criticism with the players that he's got and the squad that he's got to his, for him to use and get those players to play at the maximum of their potential. I think that's the art of true coaching, getting the best out of what you've got.
Well, he's certainly doing that well on the far side. It's a constant battle for Ian Watson of reinventing and restructuring and rebuilding the team, it seems, on a seasonal basis. Lower here again with the kick, and Shaw as steady as you like under the high kick from Tui. Lower here once more.
It doesn't always apply, Barry, but the team that chases the kicks with more enthusiasm, more often than not, wins a game of rugby league. And at this stage, you say that's the Salford team.
It's a team that's prepared to do the little things, and the little things really well. Talked about Jamie Shaw and his positional sense and that back three and the threat that they pose. If you can control that and control how you hand the ball over, you're going to have a fair say in the result of the match.
Sidelio and Kelly. That's good play by
only just
forward. I think it was just marginally forward to Albert Kelly. There wasn't much in it. We're all sat right in line with that, and it was a close call.
He almost took it out of his hands, didn't he, Albert Kelly? Albert Kelly over on this edge with Manu Ma'u. I think that combination will grow as the year develops, but he's a strong player, good balance, well respected amongst the squad. Manu Ma'u.
But just out of interest, in the week I was having a look at some videos from his NRL days of Ma'u, and he was doing that every week regularly for Parramatta. A big player, and Hull have high hopes for him. At the moment, their hopes are being dashed after 5 months without a game. They're losing here, and well, it was well held in the end by Tyrone McCarthy.
But that change of direction against bigger players gives Salford a better chance here. Nice pass, straighten them up. They've got space again.
Yeah, Evans out to Seo, and Seo goes round for new. A little kick inside. Is there an opportunity here? Maybe for Salford. Has he got the ball down? Is there another try for Laura here? Well, this is astonishing play from Salford. The referee thinks it's another try. And what a performance this is turning out to be. A dream day for Tui Lower here.
Well, it's a good kick inside, isn't it? We'll check whether Salford are onside at the point where the kick is put in. They look okay. I think it's Tui Lower here, the number 6 that they're looking at. He's the player that puts the ball down. He looks like he's onside. Robert Hicks happy with that. Does he get enough pressure on the ball?
This isn't easy, is it? They're moving a difficult position.
A great try.
He's done well. He's done fantastically well.
Again, a little bit like Dan Sargentson, aware of where he is on the field, trying to lean back but push his arms forward enough so he gets the pressure on the ball. That's a good try. Good vision.
Well, that's a sensational try from Tui Lower here, who is having a sensational return to Headingley, where it all went horribly wrong for him. He was a marquee player. He was a big signing. Leeds had high hopes. It didn't work out, but my oh my, he helped Salford to a grand final. And now he scored another one off the back of a forward pass, another Hull mistake.
Well, a little bit unfortunate for Hull out there. They're trying to play, but it just shows you 2 errors inside their own half, and Salford have made them pay twice in quick succession here. That's fantastic ball movement, support play, and instinctive attacking skills there from Lola here, who's a youngster, would have enjoyed running around and playing that freedom. He's added 2 more points onto his goal kick. He's been spot on too, and well, what a very impressive start for the Salford side here. Back after a lockdown of 4.5 months, but the timing of the play, the accuracy of the passing, the quality of the kicks is absolutely as they've been playing for the last 52 weeks.
I like to see that. He's involved in the play early on. He puts the passing tool lower here, keeps running, keeps moving, tracks along the middle, expecting something, doesn't know what it'll be. He ends up coming up with a try, and Andy Lass with a little bit of thinking to do now. He's got that ace card, hasn't he? He's got Jake Connor. At what point does he introduce that point of difference and that real jack-in-the-box player?
Yeah, I suspect it won't be too long. There he is. Such a real talent, Jake Connor. He's got to prove it more consistently, that's for sure.
He's a tremendous player, and I suppose you're always managing his expectations. It's hard to find a spot for him. He wants more responsibility. He wants to be a standoff. He wants to have the ball in his hands more than anybody else, but you've got so many dominant players that probably are better for the side.
Yeah, That's okay. 18-6. Brilliant this first half from Salford. Still to come on the Super League Super Sunday. Wakefield against Wigan. Their first games, of course, since lockdown. And then to round it all off, Leeds with that heroic win over Huddersfield last weekend. And Saints very impressive against Catalan. What a way to round off the afternoon, and what a way for Salford to restart their season. Of course, they had that brilliant win over Wigan, didn't they? And another mistake from Hull FC, this time Josh Bowden. All three Salford tries have come from Hull FC mistakes. 2 knock-ons and a forward pass. Are they going to be punished again, already leading by 18 points to 6?
Well, Hull's skill doesn't match his ambition at the moment. They can't quite take in the passes, and they're going to have to desperately defend here. Start to extend the lead past 12 points, and it gets a bit hard.
What a great opportunity this is. This time Luke Yates with the error, and the first real mistake, you have to say, with ball in hand. We saw the error from Dan Sargentson, which led to the early try for Albert Kelly, but they've been pretty good attacking with ball in hand, and you just feel that's a missed opportunity.
It is, because the middle men of Hull FC are just starting to blow a little bit. You saw, even though the ball and the pass was marginal and it was fumbled by Luke Yates, there was enough of a gap and a space. Hull FC, they look tired at the minute, and that's a
cruncher of Martin.
That's a big tackle. That's a big tackle.
That was brilliant from Salford.
Josh Johnson, full-blooded, shoulder in, dislodges the ball, and look at the celebrations from his teammates. Young firebrand forward, trying to earn his stripes, shoulder in, good contact.
Johnson.
I think this is one of the skills, one of the most important skills in rugby league. When things aren't going well, you haven't played well for half an hour, you've made 5 or 6 handling errors, you're coming up with knock-ons, you're under pressure. Somehow being able to not panic here. They've obviously got to defend and stop points, but they can't let their heads drop. All maybe that's been one of the problems in the past. Can they rectify it right now?
Flanagan. Eccles, now a chance for Williams. Williams going to the line. Is it going to be his first try for Salford? He's got it down brilliantly there. Rhys Williams and Hull are being pummeled. Their mistakes are being punished. And Rhys Williams with his first try of the season. And who'd have thought it after half an hour? Certainly not him, Andy Last. But Salford lead by 22 points to 6.
This is unbelievable. The mistake again by Fanua on the back of it. I don't know whether it was a shoulder charge, but he's got away with it, hasn't he, there?
Play on, Phil. Come on.
I tell you what, I'll play on with this skill here.
See, man.
Salford's you know, the ability to catch and pass is probably the most important skill now for an outside back, and catch and pass at speed. I don't think he even takes in possession here. It's instantly tipped on in the perfect direction for Williams, and that's a good finish. They've still got a lot to do when he gets the ball in his hands, and does it very well against big, strong defenders coming over to close down his space, and with the touchline working against him, grounds it with the left hand here. Unbelievable delight for Salford fans who've waited months for this.
Well, to be fair, Rhys Williams scored some brilliant tries, didn't he, last year for London, and so nearly helped to keep the Broncos in Super League. And a lot of them were scored like that, with immense strength and power.
He doesn't get those wrong, does he, too often? Big player with good balance and good footwork. It was a nice tip on to give him the chance.
Well, John Wells doesn't get much wrong, but he got this one wrong, didn't he? He was saying that this was going to be an easy victory for the Black and Whites as that kick just misses. He's got to hope for that big comeback again. He got the big comeback with Leeds when he tipped them last week.
John acknowledging from the touchline.
Yeah.
I think he was just waving the microphone.
I've got 4 words for you, Phil. What does Wells in all?
Well, I think we'd all agree this whole side are better than what they've shown us for just over 30 minutes. They've got to start to perform here now. What's the talk like? What's the body language like? That's a really important factor now for them.
You asked the question, you know, the skill of when the scoreboard is going against you and how to control your emotions. It comes down to your leaders, your leadership group. Andy Last has a number of experienced players on the field. Is the communication good enough to calm all those around them? Can they do it with their words and with their actions?
Well, I think we've got to be a little circumspect, haven't we? I mean, this has been a dominant and a brilliant Salford display, but last weekend, when Huddersfield were winning 26 points to 6 against Leeds, it was game over, it really was. And we all know what happened there. But here come Salford again with Eccles, and Wellham trying to get the ball out there, and I think he's lost it in the tackle. Unfortunate there for Chris Wellham. He was looking to offload to Ken Seo on his wing, and they haven't made too many mistakes, Salford, but in the end, you've got to say well done to Mahe Fanua. Caused the problem, forced the error.
Well, there are a few problems at the moment, Hull. One is that when their opponents have the ball, it looks like they've got more players on the field than them. The ease with which they're creating the overlap out wide is something that they've very quickly... Fail fast, fix fast is something they talk about in business. Well, Hull have got to do that pretty quick, haven't they, now here, because they're struggling to cope with the Reds as they pass the ball wide at pace.
That try for Rhys Williams officially goes down with his first of the season. Of course, he did score for Salford in their win against Toronto, but of course expunged from the records. 22-6, closing stages of the first half, dominated by the Salford Red Devils, and all that after Hull had taken the lead early on with Albert Kelly's try. But you feel they need to score, they need to come up with something before half-time. Bowden is stopped on the 20. Danny Houghton finds speed with a little dink, the kick towards the far corner, and it bangs down, the ball goes backwards, but it's picked up well. Salford with Flanagan, their vice-captain. You have to say that in defence, they've looked, I wouldn't say comfortable, but they've looked very, very good, haven't they? Looked very reliable, Salford.
Their energy has been good because they've used it wisely. They've shared that workload out. People like Rhys Williams have come in and helped out when they can. They've kicked early, as Phil's mentioned a couple of times. And Paulie, we've hardly mentioned his name. He looks in decent nick.
He's just come on, hasn't he?
Yeah, just come up. Paulie, he's huge, isn't he? A huge unit, Paulie. And here's Williams again, sideways as it was with a pass. Little kick forward, pressure on Shaw, and in the end, Jamie Shaw just happy to let that ball run out. But, you know, we expected the Hull FC team with Nalago and Fanua on the wings to really spread the ball out, but it's been Salford who've been looking to Williams and Seo on their wings.
Do you think
that's a great reward?
Do you think there's an obsession with staying in the middle of the field, Barry, now with his 6 again, thinking you can get faster play the balls and just do that?
Because again, it's targeting those bigger fellas. You didn't let me finish what I was going to say about Paulie. We expected, just like Hull FC have got Jake Connor on the bench, Paulie, a big presence, a big bloke, lots of offloads in him. And it's got to the point where Salford haven't needed him because they've been completely dominant there for 35 minutes.
Kelly and Shaw, another mistake, this time Jamie Shaw. You can't fault the pass there from Albert Kelly. Sargentson picks it up and Salford will come again. Well, Andy Lass must have thought the perfect start, the try early on. My side is playing well, they're dominant. And then for the next 30-35 minutes they have been completely outplayed.
But I think he has to exude confidence, really, because I just watched Jamie Shaw. It was as if his head dropped as he ran back to the line. He's disappointed. They can't let that happen to them. Think of the Catalan Dragons yesterday, 14-0 down. This stage, this wonderful pitch in Leeds is almost designed for a comeback if you hang on through the tough times.
Absolutely. And Salford thoroughly deserving their lead. They had this brilliant run, of course, which took them to the grand final. Disappointing for the most part this year, but a chance down, a little kick through towards the line, and it'll be picked up, and there'll be 6 to drop out, rather, from underneath the post. Sneed it was, who was to the rescue for Hull, but again, that kick causing all sorts of problems, and as far as Andy Last is concerned, thank goodness for Mark Sneed.
It was like they stopped Hull FC. There was a bit of confusion with Lannan playing the ball, a defender left on the floor, everybody looking at the referee, and Salford, as they have been for large chunks of this game, just first to the punch, first to the ball, and they played to the whistle.
Williams, 6th, the drop out, and here is Paulie.
I think they'll have a special player, Stuart, in this set. Don't expect. I think Niall Eccles, we've got 2 or 3 minutes to half-time. Their opponents are tiring. It's a scenario a lot of teams practice and set up for here now, this.
Luke Yates it was, and Atkin. There was the play. Now, Evans there, was he tackled without the ball? The referee says no. Jamie Shaw read it, but spot on, Phil Clark. There was the play, and you feel if Niall Evans had got hold of that, he was underneath the sticks. But well played, Jamie Shaw, against his opposite number.
Yeah, I think they've just about hung on there, haven't they? That defensive play. They've kept the hopes alive here to half-time at the very least. And they're desperate for some words of wisdom.
10 seconds, boys, getting square.
To try and reassess where it's all going wrong, because Salford at times look as though they're actually toying with Hull with the way that they could just move them around. The brilliance, the brains of Ian Watson has helped to unlock this Hull defence with ease.
Well, that scoreboard allows them a touch of freedom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They know they can make a mistake, which means there's no anxiety when they're putting those players on. And were it not for a one-on-one tackle, Shaw on Evans, might have been another try to Salford.
Well, interesting. One of the real salient points for me that Andy Lass talked about during the week, he said we have a great squad on paper. Now it's time to deliver. They're not delivering today. And he's right, on paper it's a fantastic squad, Hull FC.
I'm not sure how many sessions Andy Lass would have had to work with this Hull FC side, but both you and I have talked about it, Stuart. Oh, there's a mistake.
There we go. Niall Evans, who very, very rarely drops the ball, and this time, under no pressure whatsoever, has dropped the ball with less than 2 minutes to go, the half-time. Now, how important is this 90 seconds or so?
This could be a game changer here, couldn't it? They scored the first try of the first half. They're aiming now to score the last one, and they've got a great opportunity here. But they need some bodies to move at full pace. They've been doing plays almost half-hearted, turning the ball back to another. They've got to execute at top speed if they want to score.
Well, don't forget, 60 seconds or go, Salford could easily have been under the post through Evans and out of sight at 28-6, but on the stroke of half-time, big moment for Hull FC. Sneed with a long pass out, Griffin with the catch inside, and good defence again from lower here, and of course Chris Wellen. Across the line it comes. Kelly, what can he do? Inside for Josh Bowden. A minute or so to go in this first half. Key moments in this match, you feel. Kelly, little sidestep inside, tries to go on his own, but well read again, this time by Paulie. Houghton goes through the try. It could be for Manu Mahu as he managed to get the ball down. The former Parramatta star. Mahu reckons he has scored. The referee agrees. Is this a big moment for Hull FC? And is it a big moment for Manu Mahu?
He was always expecting that ball, the big back rower. He's got possession. I think he's a little bit short. Does he roll forward? Does momentum take him near the line? It's gone up as a try. So we have to find a compelling argument to say he doesn't get near the line. The referee is in a wonderful position, Liam Moore.
I just wonder whether there was a Salford hand underneath there.
This one might be the one.
You've got to give that as a try, haven't you? From that angle, you can't tell. You can't overrule the referee.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. They've thrown a good punch at the end to get to the break.
They'd set that up. There were a few combinations before that, wasn't there? And Danny Houghton had a good influence on that set of six.
And here is the decision to confirm that Manu Mahu has scored a really important try for Hull FC with the last act, you feel, of the first half. Niall Evans could have been a try scorer 90 seconds ago under the post for the Salford Red Devils, but it was Evans' error that has given Hull FC a lifeline.
It was a wicked kick, wasn't it? It just flapped about in the wind, and he's been virtually flawless, Niall Evans. And they'd set up that play, they knew what they were doing, everybody had read the lines. It was a no-look pass from number 9, Danny Houghton. I don't think it'd be enough to change the sentiment of that half-time tee-top. In summary, it's must try harder, Hull FC.
Well, I think the way that this half has gone, Hull FC will be absolutely delighted that they're only 10 points behind, because in essence, that could be a 12-point swing.